We are working for you during this health crisis with our Problem Solvers hotline. Many of you want to know what businesses are considered essential and why do some people still have to go to work? Well, our Travis Guillory is answering that question as it pertains to Macy's distribution center employees.
We're continuing to get questions from people asking why are certain businesses still open whenever they seem like they're non-essential, but the answer to some might surprise you.
I have a few clients and family members that work at these facilities like Macy's distribution, and they are still having to work during this pandemic when they are not essential workers.
Why is Macy's Logistics Center in Owasso remaining open? They're a retail store. They supply clothing and purses. There's no food or oil or gas, nothing there medical. Why are they open?
So I reached out to Macy's and their corporate office said Macy's Inc. has decided to temporarily close all stores nationwide in response to COVID-19. Although our store locations are temporarily closed, our Tulsa Distribution Center location in Owasso, Oklahoma will remain open in accordance with Oklahoma's COVID-19 stay-at-home directive. The directive permits businesses engaged in supply chain logistic operations, storage, and distribution, including shipping directly to residences, to continue to operate. To support our digital customers, our Tulsa facility will remain open. And if there's a question that you would like me to look into, just give us a call. The number you see here, 918-748-1502, and I'll do my best to get you the answers that you need. Travis Guillory, 2 Works for You.
This crisis. Dr. Casey Schrum also says they've gotten questions on what the testing process is like. People have to contact their healthcare providers for a test to be ordered. For those who don't have a provider, call an emergency room. Don't show up. Doing so potentially exposes others to the virus. Now, the test is a nasal swab that's sent to a lab for testing. Their goal is to have results within 24 hours. Right now, there are 3 testing lab sites in the state. They're working on rolling out mobile screening sites in the next few days. I'm Sarah Pizarro, 2 Works for You.
Well, new tonight, a woman is dead after being shot during a dispute. 2 Works for You's Katie Kelleher tells us what we know about the investigation now happening in North Tulsa.
The shooting happened at this convenience store near 54th Street North and North Peoria Avenue. The police say it started with a dispute. Tulsa police aren't sure what led to that argument, but they say it's possible there was a shot fired from the victim's vehicle before she was shot. The shooter is detained, but police are still investigating.
I don't know that there's going to be an arrest made in this particular case at this point. We're still going to go down and we're going to talk to him and we're going to figure out what his version is. And like I said, once we get the video and we're able to look at that video, I think it's going to give us a really good idea as to what happened here.
We won't know the victim's identity until police have time to tell her family what happened. And we will have updates on this story when we get them on our website, kjrh.com. In Tulsa, Katie Kelleher, 2 Works for You.
Well, the 2 Works for You problem solvers are getting a lot of calls and emails from workers at 2 big companies in Tulsa, the Alorica facility and the Navistar bus plant. They want to know what can be done to protect themselves and the community from the virus, especially after a worker at the bus plant tested positive. 2 Works for You's Sarah Pizarro joins us with the answers.
They're scared to lose their jobs, so they won't go on camera, but they sent us these pictures allegedly showing employees working in close proximity, some in the assembly areas of the bus plant and in cubicles and eating areas of Alorica. They say they're still required to do their jobs in close contact. The workers at the bus plant are also concerned they're being exposed to COVID-19 after their coworker tested positive for it. And workers from both facilities say the current sanitation measures aren't enough to combat potential spread. Now, both companies are considered essential businesses, so they can stay open. Now, about their employees' concerns, Alorica says they are maintaining distance and have separated tables in break areas and transitioned some employees to work from home and are still transitioning others. Part of their statement reads, "Our site employs nearly 1,000 people, so this is a massive undertaking that we're working around the clock to accomplish quickly." It also says they're maintaining cleaning protocols. Now, Navistar says their coronavirus case at the bus plant has yet to be verified by a doctor and that they sent the employee home to quarantine for 2 weeks, as well as 13 others who might have come in contact with that person. Their statement also says they've implemented social distancing practices where possible. Where it isn't, they say they put out cleaning supplies. We also went to the city of Tulsa with these employees' concerns, and they urged citizens to report any businesses out of compliance with the state's executive order to this number, 918-596-9222. I'm Sarah Pizarro, 2 Works for You.
One of Tulsa's biggest restaurant groups is among those struggling to stay open right now. 2 Works for You's Katie Kelleher tells us how the McNally's Group is working to help its employees in our series, We're Open, Green Country. Katie?
Karen McNally's Downtown is one of 20 local restaurants owned by the McNally's Group. Now, of those 20, only 8 are still open. McNally's Downtown is among those taking to-go and delivery orders, but they're working as a small staff. McNally's Group had to lay off 90% of its employees. Founder Elliot Nelson says they looked at all of their options, and it was best to have most of their staff file for unemployment.
Kind of our commitment to everybody was, look, unfortunately right now, putting you on unemployment is the best thing we can do. We made a promise to everyone that's on health insurance. We'd keep paying their health insurance, but if we'd kept our entire staff on and paid them, we would have run out of cash in about 3 weeks.
Nelson says right now they're just trying to make enough money to pay salaries. He says they're also working with local and state officials to find long-term help for their restaurants and others in the community. Now, if you know a local restaurant or business that we should talk about, let us know at our website, ktrh.com/open. And coming up at 6, how McNally's is changing some of their ways to keep their staff and customers safe. Live in Tulsa, Katie Kelleher, 2 Works for You.
So it would be a chance for rain tomorrow morning, about 4 to 7 a.m. That clears out. The weekend looks great. Temperatures in the 70s for highs. Rain likely by late Monday, just rain, and it will be cooler with the mid-60s for highs. And then 70s move in Thursday and Friday of next week, and potentially much colder by the end of next weekend, which we'll update you tonight at 10 on. And we'll see that, continue to analyze that data and see if we can see a frost or freeze by then.
Oklahoma's Attorney General says he's cracking down on people looking to take advantage of Oklahomans during the coronavirus outbreak. And cybersecurity experts say the current environment is just filled with opportunities for hackers and fraudsters. Problem solver Aaron Conrad shows us what to watch out for.
While so many of us are working from home, email, social media, cell phones, and online communication are pretty much all we have. But that also means that bad guys are looking to target those places to steal your information and your money.
So this is an opportunity made in heaven for them, right? This is some of the biggest fear across the country, across the world that we've ever seen. And so there is a noticeable, substantial uptick in the amount of fake emails and scams coming out about and related to the coronavirus.
Heinen Landa is the CEO of the IT company Optimal Networks. Over the last 2 weeks, he says hackers have been upping their game, trying to get your information by using the coronavirus as a way in.
One email came in, looked like it was from the World Health Organization, asking people to download a file that would tell them how to keep their loved ones and their businesses safe. In fact, all it did was launch ransomware and take over their machine and track their keystrokes.
Landa says these types of messages are coming in on all platforms, so it's up to you to be vigilant.
These things are coming in as emails, as texts, as phone calls even, people pretending to be from the official organizations.
He says always be suspicious of emails containing attachments or links that you weren't expecting. Never give out your personal information or login information over the phone or online. And watch out for emails that have spelling and grammar mistakes.
You know, have your multi-factor authentication turned on, right? Two-factor authentication on your Google and your Facebook and your Microsoft Office 365, every app you can use two-factor authentication, turn it on. Have them text you codes. It's annoying, but it's very helpful.
The Oklahoma Employment Security Commission sending out a warning about fake websites posing as unemployment resources or places to file claims or get compensation.
Worst case scenario, you get yourself into one of these things. What do you do now?
Turn off your computer as fast as humanly possible. That's my...
Okay.
It's like, how fast can you hold that off button? So what happens is a lot of times these ransomwares, they pop up and they start encrypting all of your files.
If you think you've clicked one of those fake links or visited one of those fake websites and compromised your information, contact an IT professional immediately. And if you think you've been the victim of fraud during the coronavirus outbreak, contact the Oklahoma Attorney General's office. At home, Erin Conrad, 2 Works for You.
It is a tough fact that we are all facing during this COVID-19 pandemic. There is just a lot that we can't control. However, many people are changing their focus to what they can control in a positive way. 2 Works for You's Dane Hawkins shows how they're planting positivity.
Tomato, pepper.
To plant a garden is to plan for a future.
Dana Harris and her mom Denise have spent hours in the Stringer Nursery greenhouse.
They got little petals.
Admiring the 2 acres of Technicolor plants of every shade, from radiant reds to bashful blues and youthful yellows.
I think Catherine would like those.
It's a common pastime for Mom Denise.
But I've already started some seeds.
But this year, Dana has taken even more interest.
I get to try something new because I have time, and the opportunity, whereas we really didn't before.
Because the 2 are staying home with family amid COVID-19, but they're taking back control from the pandemic.
During this lockdown, during this craziness, so we're planning for a future.
It's an attitude nursery owner Stan Bunnell is noticing because he's rushing to keep up with demand.
They're buying more seeds, more garden seeds, more garden plants.
But he doesn't mind the rush because he says gardening is a perfect hobby to pick up as families spend more time at home than usual.
Relieves your mind, gives you something else to think about, something else to do.
Time just flies by.
And they both say working with plants has a way of lifting your mood.
Makes you feel good.
Just a very pleasant when the wind's blowing and you're just like, yeah, this is great.
Especially when efforts yield such a beautiful bounty.
Flowers will feed the heart.
Get out there, garden. Get your mind off of it, spend time with your family.
Dane Hawkins.
Let's go get some more tomato.
2 Works for You.
Tulsa Area Emergency Management is asking you to take some time tonight to come up with a severe weather plan, even if it's just knowing how to get to a safe place at home. In a storm, they want people off the roads and avoiding any spread of germs in a communal storm shelter. As 2 Works for You's Christy Maria explains.
Oklahoma weather is going to do what Oklahoma weather is going to do, and we need to be prepared for that.
Spring weather coming at a time when Oklahomans have a completely different issue on their minds. But being prepared for severe weather is still important as ever.
People need to be prepared to respond to severe weather and to be prepared to take their shelter, same as they would in any other year.
Joe Kralachek is executive director of the Tulsa Area Emergency Management Agency. He says while families are together at home away from work and school, they should be setting some time aside to make a severe weather plan. That plan should be how to get somewhere safe in the home or as close by as possible.
What we really recommend people do is develop a plan on how they're going to shelter in place against a tornado and weigh their risk carefully, which one is the more imminent threat at that moment, COVID or a tornadic event.
During an emergency, the plan for people in rural communities might be to get to a community shelter early on. Those communities are now making special preparations.
We're not going to keep people out of a storm shelter for tornadoes bearing down on them.
The Kellyville Fire Department has access to the town's community storm shelter at the school. That shelter will remain open with special instructions.
We've asked them to instruct people who come to please observe appropriate social distancing.
Kellyville Superintendent Joe Pierce says there's also a supplemental plan to keep the rest of the school clean.
We would isolate that part of the building until we could get in and give it an appropriate sanitizing.
No matter when a storm hits, Pierce says the shelter will be open and ready to keep families safe. Chris DeMaria, 2 Works for You.